Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Shelly here and welcome back to my channel. So quite a few people have been asking me for a highlighting and contour routine. So as you guys can already see from the thumbnail and the title, that's the video that we'll be filming today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get straight into it. So I'm gonna use my Makeup Revolution concealer today. You guys know that you can get this on Ulta in stores or on Ulta online. I'm gonna use it in the shade C12. I'm just gonna apply this to all the areas that I highlight all the time. So you guys know that it's just the points where the sun hits first. It's like the center focal of your face. Like if someone's talking to you, they're not looking at your ears, they're not looking at your neck, they're looking like right in here of your face. So just that area of focus, those are the areas that you want to highlight. So underneath the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, the chin, and right in the center of the forehead. That's the areas that I'm going to go ahead and add my concealer. Right, so after you add concealer, you want to go ahead and blend it out. And if you guys notice, I didn't go too close to my eyes because I do wrinkle right here underneath my eyes. Not crazy, but crazy enough for me. So whenever you add concealer here, it's just gonna go into the lines of your wrinkles and cause a mess. So I'm gonna try my best not to bring my concealer too high up, even though most times, because my sponge is wet and it's fluffy, when I'm trying to blend this area it always goes up. But I just don't put it there, but it blends up there. What else do I want to say? These areas of your face, you try not to make the concealer go too far up because you don't want it to make your forehead appear larger. So I just put it right in this area, and then underneath the eyes, you don't need to bring it all the way down here. You don't need to bring it all the way out here unless you want your face to look pulled back all the way. You could bring it all the way here, but it's gonna blend outwards anyway, so you don't have to place it there because then it's just gonna go in your hair and gets messy. So I just keep it right in this area, like by the corner of my eyes. And then same thing for the chin. It's gonna blend out more when you blend it out, so you don't want to put it too far out. So that's where I have it, and I'm gonna use my beauty blender. This also helps overall with brightening up the face and just makes certain areas of the face just stands out. So that's another thing that I love about highlighting. This is the part that I get a lot of questions on as well. How to not get flashback basically from your setting powder. So after you go ahead and highlight your face, what you want to gonna do is set that concealer with a setting powder just so that it doesn't move. You cannot wear like foundation, concealer, cream, anything like dewy, creamy, wet. Basically you have to set it with a powder or else it's just gonna be a hot mess. So the powder that I'm going to be using today is the flower powder from Beauty Bakery. You guys have seen me talk about this before. I'm using it in the shade Translucent, and though this is a white shade, it does not give me a flashback, and I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is take this damp beauty sponge. This is one of the things that helps with me not getting a flashback. When the powder is too dry, it can tend to give you a flashback. Start by applying your powder with a damp beauty sponge, and then what I like to do that I learned from Jackie Aina is just tap off the excess, I don't know how to say excess product on the back of my hand, and then push it into the skin. If you are a beginner in makeup and you're not so sure of, you know, the whole baking process and whatnot, I recommend not baking, only because baking could go totally wrong if you don't know what you're doing. So I would recommend start out by just setting your under eye and not baking first, then get comfortable with this process, before you start baking your face. Right, so after you push it into the skin, there's two things you can do. You can just dust away right now, just in case there's any powder sitting there. You can dust away right now, but I just like to leave it there to sit just for a couple of seconds while I powder contour. And what I'm going to use to contour today is one of my all-time favorite things to use to contour, and this is my Anastasia contour kit in medium to tan. And I'm going to take this shade right here. That's the deepest shade in the palette, and I'm going to take it on this Morphe brush. This is my M523 brush. I like to use this brush to contour because it just gets right into the areas that I wanted to. I also like to use the MAC 109 brush. This one is perfect. I love to use this for my forehead, and I like to use this one for my cheeks, but you can use either or. I definitely recommend the Morphe over the MAC only because of the price range, but if I were to choose between both, I would have chose the MAC brush. And the reason why I'm doing powder contour in this video and not cream contour is because if you're starting out with makeup in contouring and highlighting and all that stuff, I recommend starting out with powder. Get comfortable with powder first and then move into cream contour. So you want to start with your cheekbones, and how I like to do my cheekbones is basically from probably like this part of my ear down here. I don't like to bring my contour all the way out to my mouth because then you just look ridiculous. So you probably want to stop like right here, probably like line it up with your eyes and stop right there. You know, when you do your mouth like this basically tells you like exactly where to place your contour. So that's why you see some people when they're contouring, they'll do this. Then I'm going to actually change the brush to my MAC brush because I prefer this brush to do my forehead than that other brush, just because it has a dome shape and I have a round face. So that's the reason why I prefer to use the MAC brush to do that. And for my forehead, I don't like to buff the brush or drag the brush. I kind of like to pat it in. Like when you pat powder on top of powder or powder on top of foundation or concealer or anything like that, it doesn't move the product around. This process, it depends on your facial shape. A lot of people take their nose contour, if they contour their nose, all the way up in their brows. However, my brows just goes too far up, and I don't want my nose seem like it's that long because then it's just not going to match with my face. I just like to join the bottom right here of my nose so that my nose can look like it stops right here and not like it comes all the way down to my lip. That is what I do for contouring. You don't have to do a ton for contouring. You don't have to make contouring difficult. It's a very easy thing to do. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. So that's what I do to powder contour. So I'm going to use this fluffy brush now to dust away where the powder is. And like I said, shouldn't be much powder there at all. So that's something that you guys really don't have to worry about because it shouldn't be that much product there. Now what you want to do is go ahead now and set everything into place. Basically like go over the whole entire thing with a powder that's gonna blend the contour, the highlight, and your foundation shade all together. So it's kind of like an overall setting powder. You can use a powder foundation for this step, but what I like to use for this step is my mineralized skin finish from MAC, and I use it in the shade Dark Deepest. And my favorite thing to go on top of this with is this Laura Mercier setting sponge kind of thingy. I never used to use this before. I would always use a brush, and my sister got me onto this, and from ever since that's the only thing I use, only because it makes your face look a lot more flawless. You can use a brush if you like. You can also get dupes of these from the dollar store. Like I have a bunch of these that I bought in the pack from the dollar store, and it performs the same exact way. The only reason why I like to use the Laura Mercier one over this one is because it's a lot bigger, so I do my face quicker with this one. But if you want to be neat and precise, I definitely recommend using the one from the dollar store. So what I like to do is just take it and press it into my face. I'm not buffing, I'm not moving, I'm not doing anything so the product move around around. I'm just taking it and buffing it right into the foundation, the concealer, the contour powder, everything in one. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference before and now what my face looked like. Like how everything looks now, the difference between then and now. The powder doesn't look white anymore, it doesn't look too light anymore. My contour, like you can see it, but it does not look crazy. Everything just came together really nicely, and that's basically what contour, highlighting and contour is on top of your foundation. One last step that you want to do to make sure that your makeup does not give you any flashback at all is use a setting spray. And basically what this does, it just wets your whole face, melts your makeup, and then kind of mesh everything back together, so it just looks way much more flawless. What I'm going to do is finish up the rest of my face, come back, and then I'll show you guys the final look. Hey guys, so I finally finished my face. There's one step that is left to do, and it's the final and one of the most important steps in this process of your overall face and how it looks. Would it give you flashback? Would it not give you flashback? Just everything overall. So that is setting your face with a setting spray. Now the reason why I recommend this is just because you just need something to wet everything up and then help it to melt together, like I was stating before. So I'm just gonna use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and I'm just gonna use that to set my face. Then I'll just use something to help it to dry really quickly. So we're going to go ahead and take a flash test, and I'm just going to use my Snapchat camera because I really love my Snapchat camera. I'm going to take a flash test. And I'm definitely going to insert this picture, or you guys can see right here that I have no flashbacks. Yeah, so as you guys can see from the flashback, my face looks amazing. There's no flashback. You see my highlighted areas, you see the areas that I contour, you see everything just looks nice, melted, and flawless. And that's what your face should look like after you finish, if you follow these steps. Now if you guys want me to do a fully drugstore version, a more affordable version of this video, definitely leave it in the comments down below, because I know most of the products that I used were high-end, just because those are the products that are some of my fave that I love to use. But I have drugstore products that are just as good, that I love the same as I love these high-end products. So if you guys are interested in seeing me do a drugstore version of this video, let me know down below in the comments. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And yeah, that's it guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.